Hey guys, ever wondered what a game of Contact Front looks like? Well, you're in luck because today I've decided to have a game of Contact Front and record it so that you can see just how it plays. So without further ado, let's jump down to the table and let's get some dice rolling. All right, so here we have the table for this week's game. I'm using my new battle map, which I'm really pleased with. And what I've set up here is a sort of compound in Afghanistan. And what we can see here is the main wall with the entrance here, and then moving into this courtyard area where we have a couple of key buildings. This building here is probably sort of part of the community outside of the compound. For this, I'm not sure yet who's going to be defending the compound, but we'll do that dice roll now. So let's jump down to the table and we'll roll those dice. Okay, so we're going to roll a d6 for each side, white being the British, red being the Taliban, and we'll see who has the initiative and who's going to be holding the fort. So there we have it. The British have a 3 and the Taliban have a 1, which means that the British will decide to be attacking the compound and the Taliban will defend it. So next up we have the roll for the support points for each side. This time the green dice is going to be for the British and the red for the Taliban, and I'm rolling d10s. So here we go. So the British have 3 support points, and the Taliban have 5 support points. So I'm going to now go to the army lists from the Afghan supplement and pick out my sides, and I'll talk you through those in just a moment. Okay, so for the British deployment, we have the basic platoon of a 4-man command team, an 8-man section, and a second 8-man section. For my additional 3 points of support, I picked up this is a GPMG team, and that was 2 points, and then the medic is 1 point. Moving on to the Taliban list, the basic platoon, for want of a better phrase, is 2 command teams, 1 fighter cell that's ordinary fighters, and 1 fighter cell that are foreign fighters, 1 RPG team, and 1 RPK team. And my support points for 5 points, I've got a technical with Deshka on the back. So at the start of turn 1, we are going to go for the British taking the initiative and going first. The first phase of their turn is the rally phase. They've got nothing currently to unpin. Secondly, they move on to the casualty phase. Again, no casualties yet. So they move on to the third phase, which is the activation. So rolling d6, we'll see how many activations we get, plus our 1 officer. So we've got 3 plus our 1 for the leadership, giving us 4 activations. So I'm going to activate my first section and get them moving towards the main fence line, I think, or the wall. So let's move our first section. They're going to come in this way and they're going to move 2 movements, hugging the wall. Let's get that LNG up there sooner. Right, that's 1 activation down, 3 to go. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the GPMG team, and they're going to go into the building and they're going to stay on the ground floor for now. They'll need a couple of movement orders to get to the roof, so that'll probably be next turn. And my third order, I'm going to take another section, I think, round the outside, and they're going to end up just behind this building. And my last order will be to bring on my command team, and we're going to get behind this cover here with one movement, and we're going to take cover, essentially to go down with us the second order. So that completes turn one for the British. Now moving on to turn one for the Taliban. Okay, so turn one for the Taliban, we have nothing to unpin in the rally phase. The casualty phase is nothing, and the activation phase. So rolling a d6. Let's see how many orders we get. So we've got 3, plus we have 2 leaders, making that a total of 5. So what to do? Well, I think we're not going to do anything this turn. We're going to let the British come on to us, and we'll activate, I think, next turn. Okay, turn 2 for the British. So again, nothing to rally, no casualties. Let's go straight into the orders. So I've rolled a 2, plus my leader is 3. So I've got 3 activations. A little bit trickier with a little less options, but I think the first one's quite obvious. We're going to take 2 movement actions and put the GPMG team up on the roof of this building. So that is my first activation. The second one will be to move the first section along the wall. And they're going to take 2 movement actions to move along the wall. And my last order will be to move the other team up along the wall. And we're going to go 1 movement, and then we're going to go into Overwatch, just in case anybody sticks their head out of what's going on. Okay, so that is the end of British turn 2. Over to the Taliban. So turn 2 for the Taliban, obviously nothing pinned and no casualties, so straight to activation. And we've rolled a 5 this time, plus our 2 leaders, so that takes us to 7 activations, which I think is more than I've actually got units for. So let's start thinking about what we're going to do. I think we've got an R. Yeah, so we've got the LMG team in this building, so I'm going to activate them. 1 movement up to the roof, and then they're going to do some firing onto the GPMG team. So let's get some dice and let's do some shooting. Okay, because the Taliban are untrained, we've got D10s to roll with. So we have the LMG team here firing on the GPMG team here. 2D10, and let's see if we hit. So we've got a 5 and a 2. A 2 is definitely a miss, and a 5 is also a miss as well. So nothing this turn on individual fire, and that's 1 activation down. So moving on, what else am I going to do? Well, I think with the build-up of troops, I think we're going to start getting some of our guys ready. So the foreign fighters are going to activate. They're in this building here, and they're going to come out and along the wall and over the wall for 2 orders. Brilliant. So that is another activation. And what else are we going to do? I think the RPG team are going to deploy out of this building, and they are going to head over towards this wall over here. That's another activation. 4 left to go. And I think we're going to have this fire cell pop up on the roof. And they are going to have a shot at the chaps on the roof, the GPMG, and they are going to be firing individual fire. So we're going to roll 4 d10s and see if they hit. So there's a 1, a 2, a 4. Those are all misses, but we do have an 8, which is a hit. So now we need to know whether it's saved. It's going to be a d6 roll, and they're in makeshift cover, so they need a 4+. And they've rolled a 1, so one of them has been hit. Let's see what happens to them. So rolling on, roll that again, and we've got a 3. So a 3 means that one of them is wounded. We'll roll to see what that is. That's a T3. That's pretty minimal, and I think they'll be all right with that. Could have been far worse, so we'll put 1 on there. Right, that is it, I think, for the Taliban. Okay, so turn 3 for the British. We've got nothing pinned, so we are just going to need the casualty phase roll. So we've got 1 T3. I need a 2+ for him to be okay. And he's rolled a 3, so he's okay, and he'll be staying as is. Next, we need to roll for activation. So here we go. We've got a 4 + 1 for the leader, so we've got 5 activations. So next thing to do is work out who's doing what. Now, I made a bit of a mistake. I should have used this team over here to use ambush fire on these chaps when they popped up, or at least after they'd shot. I forgot to do that, so that was a bit silly on my end, but that's okay. So we're going to activate the GPMG team first and have a shot at the guys on the roof. We're going to go for a round of section fire and then a round of individual fire. So let's get some dice out and let's get rolling. Okay, so for section fire, they've got a firepower of 5. It is short range and the target is in makeshift cover. So I need for that a 4+. So here we go on a d6. It's a 3, so I've not pinned them, but obviously they know the rounds are coming down. So the next thing to do is to do my individual fire, and for that I'm going to get 5d6, and we'll see how we get on. So I've got 2 6s and 2 5s. Those are all hits, and the 2 is not. So with the 2 6s, they are considered clean hits, and the 2 5s are hits. Now we need to roll to see if they are saved. So we need a 4+. I'll swap that out so I know which ones are which. So 4 pluses, reds are the kills. We've got 3 of those saved, but 1 got through. So let's see what the injury roll is. And it's a 4 + 1, which is a 5, and that counts as a KIA. So one of their chaps is dead. Let's replace him and crack on with our next activation. Okay, so with my next activation, I'm going to move the team that were on ambush over to stack up on the wall, and that will do them. I'll get them in a good position to assault, or to at least move in when the time comes. We'll take off the ambush, the watch and shoot order for now. That's another activation, leaving me with 3. Next, I'm going to bring on the medic, and the medic is going to make a move down behind the building. So that leaves me with 2, and my last activation is to activate the command team, who are going to take a shot at the Taliban LMG team. They're going to use individual fire, and they're going to do 2 rounds of that. So we've got 3d6, and let's see how we get on. So I've got 2 5s and a 1. So the 1 is a miss, the 2 5s are hits. We'll see if they save them. They've got 1 save, and let's see if we hit with the one they didn't. So that's a 4, so that is a wound. So one of these guys are down. We're going to go 1 2 3 is the assistant, 4 5 6 is the gunner, and it's a 3. So the assistant is down, wounded, but they can still continue. So that's end of turn 3 for the British. Okay, turn 3 for the Taliban. Now, there's nothing pinned, so we move on to the casualty phase. Now, because they are untrained, they don't roll for casualty triage. So the next thing is activation. So rolling for activations, and we've rolled a 1, plus their 2 leadership gives them 3. So not as much to do this time, but they'll still be keen, I'm sure, to crack on. So what we'll do with the first order, I think we will use the LMG team again to put more fire on the GPMG team, and this time I think we'll go for a round of section fire and then a round of individual fire. So first up, they've got a firepower of 2. They are at medium range, over 15 inches, and they are firing at somebody in makeshift cover, so they need a 5 to hit. So 1d6, and they've got a 6, so they have in fact pinned the British unit. So they've pinned them, and now they're going to take some automatic fire at them, individual fire at them. So they are rolling 2d10s. So let's see how they get on. They've got a 3 and a 1, which are both misses. So again, fire coming in, but nothing hitting its target. So that's 1 unit down, 2 activations to go. I think the RPG team are going to take a order to get into cover behind this wall, and they're going to go on watch and shoot. And then the last order will be to get these guys up here firing at the GPMG team. So again, let's go for 2 rounds of individual fire. They're going to be rolling d10s, and let's see what they get. First lot, they've got a 1, a 4, and a 9. So the 1 and 4 are misses, but the 9 is a hit. So we now need to see if the British can save it. They need a 4+, and they've got a 2, so another shot gets through. And then on the injury table, let's see what happens. They've got a 6, so they've actually got a KIA, which is a little bit crazy. So we're going to go 1 and 2 for the assistant, 3 4 for the 1 2 for the chap who's wounded, 3 4 for the assistant gunner, and 5 6 for the gunner. It's a 5. The gunner is dead. The assistant will take over, but it does mean that they've got 1 wounded and 1 killed. So let's put a token down for that, and then we'll come back for the second round of firing by that unit. Okay, so we've put a casualty figure on the GPMG team. They've got the infantry here, the fighter cell here have a round of firing left, so let's go for that. And they have rolled a 2, a 5, and a 7. So they've actually missed all 3 shots there. So that completes the Taliban turn 3. Okay, so British turn 4. We're going to start with the rallying phase, and we've got 1 unit pinned. I can use my leader to try and unpin them, so I'm going to do that. And this force is highly motivated, so I need a 2+ to unpin them. And I've rolled a 2 just, so that means the GPMG team are unpinned, and I'm now going to move on to the casualty phase. So I've got a T3, I need a 2+ to stabilize. Here we go. And I've got a 5, so he's absolutely fine. And now on to the activations, minus the leader. So a straight dice roll. And I've got a 2. So not too many activations this turn, but hopefully enough to do something. So first of all, I'm going to use the GPMG team to lay down some section fire. I'm going to target first the fighter cell over on this building, and secondly the RPK team over on this building. So let's go for this. I've got a firepower of 5. It is short range there, so I need to roll a 4+, I believe, because they are in makeshift. Yeah, 4+. Here we go. And I have pinned them, so that team is pinned there. And now over here, we might be over 15. We are. So that is going to require a roll of 4+. So here we go. And they've got a 6, so they are also pinned. So the GPMG team have done the business, and they have done what they were employed to do. And hopefully that means that the teams can now start to move in to assault and to take the objective. So that's 1 order down. I've got 1 more to go. I think what I'm going to do at this point is use the command team again to put down some fire on the team, the RPK team here. So taking 3 rifles for individual fire, we're going to try and hit. So I've rolled a 2, a 3, and a 4. So that is 4's a hit, 3 is not. So 1 hit. We'll now see if the saves them. It does this time. They needed a 4+, they got a 6. So we're now going to move on to the second round of individual fire and see what we can do. And I've got a 6 and a 4. So 1 clean hit and 1 normal hit. So let's see if the cover saves helps. It does on the clean hit. So we've just got the other one. So let's see what we get on the injury chart, and it's a 1, so it's a wound. So 1, 2, 3, the assistant, 4, 5, 6, the gunner. It's the gunner this time, so they're both wounded now, which means they're going to be firing on less effect next time. So that completes British turn 4. So on to the British turn 6. Now nothing pinned this turn, but 2 casualties. So we're going to roll for the T3 first, needing a 2+, and he's okay on a 4. And we'll now roll for the T2, which needs a 3+. And he's got a 6. He's okay. So the GPMG team is still in operation, which is good news. So now we need to roll for the activations, and here we go. 2 plus the leader is 3. Not the best roll, but certainly a good start to make things happen. So I think what I'm going to do is do something bold, and I'm going to try to get one of the sections in to the compound to try to break the deadlock. So what they're going to do is this half a section, this fire team, is going to make their way in to this building. So they are going to activate, and they are going to move twice to get into this building. Now, as they come round, they of course are going to get fired on, I'm sure. So let's see what we've got. First of all, the Dushka is going to have a round of individual fire. That is going to be 6 D10s firing. So let's see what happens. Well, we've got a 9 and 2 8s. So we have got 3 hits. They are in the open, but they get a cover save. So needing 6s to save. And they've got none. So 3 possible hits. Let's see what the scores are. We've got 3 wounds. So 3 wounds. The first one is a T1. The second is a T3. And the third is a T1. So 2 T1s. Now, T1s, let's see if either of them are the section leader. Any rolls of 5 or 6s will be the section leader. No, so 2 of the guys at the back have got hit, and the 3 is there as well. So we'll mark them as appropriate. So 1, 2, and the other T1 will be the chap closest to them. So that is their section fire taken away. And we've got 2 orders, 2 activations left. Sorry, they've got 1 order left, which is to get into the building, which they will do. And I'll just place them behind. We know they're in that building. Okay. So, bold, but they are in the compound, and one of the Taliban units no longer has watch and shoot on. So the next thing that's going to happen, I think, is the machine gun team and the GPMG team are going to open fire on the Dushka. Now, it is a distance, but they are absolutely well within the range. So we're going to take 2 rounds of individual firing, and here we go. So 1 clean hit and 1 non-clean hit. So let's see what we do regarding cover. Okay, so they're going to act as in the open, so 6s to save. So they've saved the clean one, the clean hit, and not the other one. So let's see what the... Oh, it's a kill. So 1, 2, 3, the driver, 4, 5, 6, the gunner. It is the gunner. They've taken him out and they've killed him. So that is a win for the British, who have another round of firing, and we'll get that in now. 1 guy left. He might climb onto the gun. We'll see. But we've got at least 2 5s, so that's 2 hits. Let's see if they can get 6 to save. No, they can't. Straight through. So what's going to happen? We've got a kill and a wound. So looks like that unit is down. We'll just turn those over. Now, what this means is that any unit within 10 needs to take a check, essentially a morale check. and that's going to take place in the unacceptable casualties chart. So let's see, we've got a command team within 10. We've got 2 others. So rolling 2d6 per unit. We'll start with this unit on the top. Let's see what happens. They've rolled a 7, and a 7 is they hold their ground. Now the RPG team, they've rolled a 3. That's not great. So they get around a section fire. They can't actually see the targets, and they're not. And the command team last. They've rolled a 10. Now they fall back to the nearest piece of cover immediately. Well, they're in cover, so that they've managed to get away with that. So, and they're going to lose that because they've had a section fire. So that's promising. That's now 2 units activated, so 1 left. So here's the next question: what to do? I think what we'll do is we'll take the command team and we'll try to pick off this unit on the top. So 2 lots of individual fire, and the first lot we've got a clean hit. Let's see if they save. They do, and another round, another clean hit, and we'll see if they save. 4+ needed, and they save again. So he is really hugging behind the amount of cover they've got there. So that is the British turn 6 over with. So on to the Taliban turn 6. That last round for the British was quite good. Taliban suffered a little bit here, but hopefully we'll see how they get on. Now, nothing to unpin, no casualties to worry about, so straight onto the activations. And they've rolled a 5+2, so they're getting good activation rolls. Now let's just see whether they can turn this around by using them. So first of all, I think we're going to have some concentrated fire again from this team onto the GPMG team. We'll go for a round of section fire to start with, so they need a 5+2 pin, and they get a 3, so no, and then a round of individual fire. So here we go. An 8 is a hit, and the 3 is not. So let's see whether they get cover save. No, and let's see what the result is. It's a 1, so it's only a wound. Let's see, because 2 wounds make a kill. So is it, or one of them's going to die, is it the T3, 1, 2, 3, or the T2, 4, 5, 6? It's the T2. So 1 man left on that unit, and he'll be firing on a -1. So good work there by that Taliban section. Now, that fighter cell. So what next? I think this chap on the roof again will have a go at the command team. So 1 round, 2 rounds of individual firing. The first is a 9. It's a potential hit. Let's see. 5 to save. It's a 2, so possible wound. Let's see. Possible kill. It is a kill. So 1, 2, 1, 2, the private, 3, 4, the mortarman, 5, 6, the leader, the officer. It's the 6. The officer has been killed. Not good news for the British. Indeed, not good at all. So let's see what happens with the second round of individual fire. And that's a 7, so that's a miss. So very, very good start for the Taliban. 5 orders left. They're going to put the RPG team on watch and shoot again. And I think that's going to be them done. So turn 7 for the British, and I forgot at the end of turn 6 for the Taliban, when they killed the officer, they should have done an unacceptable casualties roll. In fact, we should have done it for the 2 other kills as well. Now, my mistake, I only wrote the rules, but we will do the one for the officer now to make up for it. So here we go. That is a 10. and that means they hide behind cover. Now that's okay because they're already behind cover, but a little bit concerning there. So moving on, we need to do a casualty roll for the guy left on the GPMG, and he's okay. Just oh, and actually we do have some other guys as well. So another T3. One, he's now going to be a T2 because he failed that roll. So let's put that in there. And then we've got two T1s. So here is the first 4 to stabilize. No, we've got one casualty dead, and the other, he's okay. So one guy dead. So that team is not in a good shape. In fact, the whole of the British line is not in a good shape. Pinned down by the sort of setup the Taliban have set up, but we'll go into the activation roll and see what we can do this turn. We may have to call it depending on how it goes. So here we go. 6, but no officer. So they've only got 6 orders, which is lucky because the officer wouldn't have been able to do anything, and obviously wouldn't be able to unpin either because we've lost the officer and the sergeant. So really, really not going well. So what to do with 6? I was going to take the unit in the building and close assault the roof, but they are not in a good shape. In fact, they've only really got one chap who could do that, and that is going to be a tough ask. So I think they're going to have to stay put and wait for support. Next thing to do then, I think I'm going to take the British, and we're actually going to climb. I think what I'll do is take this fire team, and we're going to climb up on this wall, up onto this ledge, and we'll assault that way. So one to climb up, and another to. I think what we're going to do is essentially we could assault 3 inches up and assault. So that's what we're going to do. 3 up there. And a round of individual. Now we've got an LSW, which is 2 dice. We've got 3 rifles. It's gutsy. It's the sort of thing mentions in dispatches are made of. But here we go. Individual fire. Ooh. Now we might be struggling here, but we are at close range, or point blank range, so that is going to give it a +1 to the dice roll. The problem is that not a lot there, so the 3 is a miss, so the 3 actually becomes a 4, and that 4 becomes a 5. So we've got 2 hits. So let's see, cover save. I mean, makeshift. Because of the proximity to them, I think we're going to bump that down to light cover. So 5s to save. And they've got a 6. So they've got 1 save and 1. Let's see what happens. It's a wound. So one of these guys is wounded. Not great. Not great for a close assault. Typical of the dice failing me when needed. So that is 1 activation down. I think what we'll do actually is let's use the leftover of the command team to take on this chap on the wall. So that's 2 rounds of individual fire. So 2 rifles. Here we go. A 4 and a 5. So that's 2 hits. Let's see if the cover save. 1. So 1. It's a wound. He's dead. That unit's dead. So let's do our rolls. So within 10, we've only got the 1 unit. So let's roll for them on the unacceptable casualties. We've got a 9. I suspect they are going to stay where they are. If I remember correctly, unacceptable 9. Yeah, they fall back to cover. They are in cover. So yeah, nothing too bad for them. So that is 4th unit. So that was the first round of fire. They've got a second lot they could do, or a second activation. So I think what we'll do, we'll get them to move 5 up near the wall. Cool. So 4 to go. I think it's time for the GPMG to open up on this unit here. And there you have it, guys. A great game of Contact Front. I really enjoyed it. Really good scenario there, and just a lot of fun to play. And if you're fairly new to Contact Front, then I'll be doing a series soon where I'll be taking elements of the game and the mechanics and breaking it down into bite-sized videos, so that if you're struggling or you're interested in playing it, you can check those videos out and get an idea how the mechanics work. However, you might be completely new to wargaming and have no idea what's going on, except for that you're really interested in this hobby. So I've decided to put together a new series of videos which will look at wargaming from the perspective of an absolute beginner. So if you're interested and that's you, then check out my video on Wednesday, where I'll be starting off with just a brief explanation about what the hobby is all about. So until then, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.